Once upon a time, there was a chrysanthemum sitting on the grass, and it wasn't growing out of the grass, it was just cut, and someone had dropped it on their way toward a nearby creek. The nearby creek was cold, and it was coming down from like a waterfall that was coming down from a cliff, and the cliff was inside of a forest, and the forest didn't look so good because it was missing a lot of its trees. The trees didn't prefer to be missing. However, they also didn't prefer to be trees. Trees have a secret desire to be birds this whole time. That's all they secretly want, is they sit there outside your window going, "Hey, I wanted to be a bird." And then you're like, "Oh, nice, a tree is out there." And the tree doesn't get your attention because it doesn't speak your language. No, the tree speaks the language of the trees. And so anyway, the chrysanthemum on the ground was, a dead plant. But I'm sorry for all this jiggling, but it did come with a little ribbon on it. And the ribbon was sentient. Its name was oh, dang, I don't know the name of the ribbon. I tried real hard, and I don't know it. Its name was unknowable, because this ribbon represented God. And the ribbon flew around and flew across the stream and up into the air because the wind was blowing it. That's why it was flying around. But also, it was just a little bit sentient, and it could just kind of tell on its own how to move around. And so the ribbon, who was a manifestation of God and was a green ribbon, flew across the stream and over the waterfall and up, above the thing, the mountainy business that the waterfall was coming on down from. And then you see the stream led to a town. The town was called Mud Town because everyone there liked mud so much that they just wanted to make their whole lives all about it. And everyone wore t-shirts that said, "I love mud." and then everyone who didn't love mud was kicked out of the town. So right next to that town was called Hey Fuck Mud Town. And over in Hey Fuck Mud Town, the mayor of that town was a dude who collected statues of windmills, but he also collected ribbons. The reason he collected ribbons was so that he could tie ribbons around his statues of windmills, because that was his favorite aesthetic in the whole world, was to see a ribbon tied around a windmill, especially if the blades were something that he could just move with his hands. And so he had one windmill for every color of the rainbow, except for the one for green didn't have a green ribbon yet because he hadn't found the right one. So he ended up, oh shoot, the video is almost at 420 in a 7, 8, 9, it's at 420 now. So on April 20th of 2018, this dude went out and found a green ribbon on the ground, because, oh god, what was this dude? Was this dude the mayor? Yeah, he was the mayor. And so he went out on a walk for his mayor business, and he went around town, and he was like, "Hey, guess what, everybody? Guess what I found? I found myself a perfect green ribbon for my favorite windmill over here in Hey Fuck Mud Town." So everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's great, Mr. Mayor," but deep down they were kind of like, "Oh man, geez, I don't like this dude's windmill thing that he's got going on. It's just he's just a little too into him." So at some point in the year 2030, a bunch of people started a new town called Hey, Fuck That Windmill Guy's Town, and then they all developed their own corrupt mayor, and that's a whole story for another evening. But in the meantime, the mayor, as everyone started fleeing his town, thought to himself, "Man, I didn't want to end up being a corrupt mayor. Where did I go wrong? I shouldn't have pressured people to like my dang windmills so much, because I really hammered a little too hard into the windmills. Everyone's leaving me." And so he he looked at the green ribbon fondly and thought, "You're always my favorite ribbon, and I found you the last. And yet it's bittersweet now, because ribbons were what ruined me, because it was the ribbons phase of my windmill fandom that really drove me insane." And the ribbon said, "Hey, not to worry." And he said, "Whoa, you can talk?" And the ribbon said, "You're damn right I can. Also, I'm God. I can save you, mayor of Hey Fuck Mud Town. But remember, you must listen to what the trees say." And he said, "What do the trees say?" And he said, "The trees say that they all want to be birds. You have to free the trees so that they can all become birds." And he said, "But then what will become of my planet?" And God said, "Your planet will be destroyed, because trees are a necessary part of your ecosystem. You need trees in order to survive, because where else are you going to get, your oxygen balance is going to get thrown off, man. Your whole planet's going to die." And the dude said, "What? I can't kill my planet. I'm already unpopular. They'll hate me even more if I kill the planet." And God said, "Listen, man, the trees are more important than you. I made this planet for these fucking trees, dude. So, I mean, all I wanted to do was become a ribbon in a planet that was full of trees that wanted to be birds. So that's what I did. You can't stop me." And that was what God said to that dude. And the mayor of Hey Fuck Mudtown said, "I didn't want that to be my reason for living." And God said, "Listen, man, it's just how it's got to be. But I promise you, it's going to be chill. It's just that you don't understand the grand scheme of things yet as to why the trees have to all be birds. So once you reincarnate, there's going to be a whole other dimension, and there's going to be like all of these birds, and you're going to be the king of the birds." And the dude was like, "Oh shoot, really? How can I trust you?" And God said, "You can't trust me. I'm a ribbon." And the dude said, "Please just don't talk to me that way." And God said, "You passed the test. You have self-respect. Anyway, what I need you to do is take this amulet over to the god of the trees in Tree Village. Through the mirror you go." And so the dude went through the mirror, and he had in his hands the amulet to give to the tree god. And the tree god said, "Whoa, this is the one that turns us into birds. Oh, thank Ribbon God, yes." And then the mayor of Hey Fuck Mudtown, his planet got destroyed over time as all the trees just left and went into another dimension to become birds. And pretty soon, the other stuff didn't matter as much. And it was a new universe later on. And then the dude was the king of the birds. And He was surprised to find that he still had all of his memories from all of the past lives. And he thought, alright, you know what, I guess this is chill. But you know what? I am pretty mad at Ribbon God for how he dealt me. And he went to Ribbon God in the new dimension and he said, Ribbon God, you know what? That wasn't chill. And Ribbon God said, that's an interesting thing that you have to say to me. And you know what? Please forgive me, because you're right, it wasn't chill. And the dude said, well, I'm gonna have to think about it, because it really hurt to watch my planet die. And God said, okay, man, well, I hope you forgive me. It's a different dimension now, so we have a different dynamic, and I just want you to know that I didn't want you to suffer. And the dude said, okay, fine. And God said, love you. The dude said, I love you too.